Hi, this is veteran broadcaster and communications coach, Candy O. Want to wow everyone with your speaking voice? Download The Speaker Coach on your favorite podcast platform.
Hi, welcome to Live with Lisa. My name is Stacy Wells, and I'll be hosting for Lisa today. As some of you might remember, Lisa had a special guest, Dr. Glimsher, on a couple of weeks ago, raising money for cancer research. Lisa will be not with us for the next couple of days. She's spending time with her family. As you know, her father is fighting a battle with cancer. So our warmest, heartfelt wishes go out to Lisa, her family, and her father during this incredibly difficult time, and we're here for her. So I'm here standing in her place. Fortunately, she got to look to me as a childhood friend and someone who thinks very similarly to her, and I am delighted to present our guest today. Her name is Brandelyn Tafoya, and it's our fourth episode of Sports Week, and Brandelyn and her husband started a company for female sports apparel. She's an entrepreneur, a fashion designer, businesswoman, and current CEO of Lady 12. She saw a lack of apparel options in the female football fans, and it led her to create this brand with her husband. From concept and design into production, Brandelyn is responsible for launching thousands of products into retail distribution, focusing on the female sports fan. And I did have to ask, can you do something for the Patriots, please? That's from Lisa. So anyway, here we are. I'm happy to talk to her today to talk all things sports and business. Welcome, Brandelyn.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you. I had an assistant holding this for me because I'm not quite as practiced as Lisa. So I want to thank you for your patience but certainly for being here today.
Oh my goodness, it's my honor.
So tell me about your brand, Lady 12. Was it found out of a need, or did you see an opportunity, or was it a mixture of both?
It was definitely a little bit of both. My husband started promoting a couple of brands back in 2012, and we ended up with the opportunity to open a retail storefront to promote those brands.
And I'm just going to jump in. Your husband is not just any old husband. He's a former NFL player.
He is, yeah. He spent 8 years in the NFL and retired in 2009 with a career-ending injury, and just took a while to kind of figure out where he fit in the community and what life after football looked like, because when you spend your entire life committed to one very specific thing and all of a sudden you could never do that again, it throws you for kind of a loop. So he luckily is a person, he's just got a huge personality. He is great with relationships and just started on his new path and ended up trying to help promote some brands and build communities around those brands. And through that process, we opened this retail store, and being the supportive wife at the time, I was just there all the time. I'd take the kids down to the store because
so you're actually working the store.
Yeah, we're working
the operations, the unlocking at the beginning of the day.
Everything. Yes, and that was
hard work. Yeah, it's hard work.
Never want to have a brick and mortar store ever again. But.
Yeah, retail is hard. Anybody that says it's not, it is hard work. But you're used to hard work because you met your husband, I love this story, at an Albertsons grocery store.
Whole Foods, but yes.
Oh, Whole Foods.
Yeah, in the hot food section. So when they said you can meet your husband at a grocery store, I'm living proof that this actually.
That's good. Note taken. Okay. And so it developed from there. So clearly common ground there with a healthy lifestyle. And then your first date was shoveling manure because you have a passion for horses.
Yeah. I call it his job interview. We joke about it now.
Perfect.
First date was literally spent wearing dust masks, shoveling old hay and sheep manure out of a barn that we were clearing at the time. And he volunteered to come help, and I was not going to turn down the help. So
no way. No, I have so much respect for that, because having pets, having animals, certainly having some sort of farm is a massive commitment. And it's not unlike the commitment we have in sports, right? Or the commitment we have in business or in a marriage. So what an amazing first interview for him. I mean, not as sexy as maybe you wanted the first date to be, or he did, but Wow, he did well.
He did. He passed with flying colors, and pretty much every test I've put him through since then. So he's a keeper.
So where did the transition happen from going from retail, which, having experienced it, it's rough. It's 7 days a week. It's making sure the electricity's on. There's a leak. There's a rock through your glass window, which I've had literally every year at one of my locations. Those are issues, and people don't show up to work. What made you decide? Was it those sort of things that made you decide to transition to an online platform?
It was a lot of that. We also just kind of started we did online and the retail setting at the same time, and just kind of migrated as we started having all of those same issues. Seeing most of our success was really online with less overhead.
Easy to inventory manage, right? Easier. Nothing's easy.
No, right. But I could be doing it from my garage or my dining room table, as I had my 6-month-old at the time, in the house with Joe or my mom.
Or on your hip.
Or on my hip. I mean, we've got some pretty funny pictures of the kids over the years, putting stickers on things, for us. There are
Absolutely. Hey, yeah. I have done more. My children have been models for me for many things. And we tend to use them for free labor at times or modeling gigs. Being the daughter of small business myself and having small business, I opened my schools when my son was weeks old. I understand that commitment. Yeah, it's massive. It's a massive commitment, but it's an amazing lifestyle to have. And it takes a certain dedication, quality. Tell me about some of those qualities that have allowed you to be successful as an entrepreneur, as well as in the relationship with your husband as co-founders.
Sure. Well, I think that the number one quality that entrepreneurs have on a whole that helps them get through all of the struggle is we really are comfortable being uncomfortable.
I love that phrase. I love it.
Yeah, it just really explains at least my life and my husband's life to a T. We are just, when we get into that spot where everything is not okay and we have to find a path forward, I mean, we're used to living there. So
it's a solution-seeking mindset. And I think that is really, too, what can separate a good company from a thriving company. Is one that's sometimes people are lulled into the acceptance of mediocrity, and others are not. They seek more, or when times get tough, that's when you really dig in, right? And as a former athlete, or at least I'm sure he's still an athlete, and working with horses and having kids, that sometimes there's no other option, right? Yeah. To come up with a solution.
No, you have to absolutely. You can't just sit back and do nothing. So when the pandemic hit this year, we had to all of a sudden make some humongous changes and
Tell me what that looked like, to go from having all this apparel ready to go on demand for female fashion in sports. So for this kind of spirit wear for female apparel. Now sports are paused. Right. Yeah. And so I've got a couple of questions regarding that. Sports are on pause. Then you transition to COVID masks. I saw them on your website. Incredible. Where do you see kind of the next step with now what we're facing? Delayed seasons and, masks, and how is that going to incorporate into our regular lifestyle?
Well, unfortunately, I think that none of us actually know.
Right.
And we have to just kind of sit with that for a little bit. And be ready to pivot to whatever the next spot that we have to go to is. So, we, in March, when all of this kind of started, we literally had just finished putting our entire line for 2020 together. It was, the order sheets had been sent to the stores, and we were just ready to push go. And then all of a sudden, all of that got paused, and we had spent a ton of time working on a platform on Amazon called Merch by Amazon. Mm-hmm. Many hours had gone into that, designing t-shirts and graphics and stuff on that platform. That got paused. They literally stopped making shirts when the pandemic hit because they were so busy fulfilling orders for people that, just household needs and that type of thing.
Right.
So literally all of our revenue streams halted completely. And we didn't panic.
So tell me what that conversation looked like, because now we were all dealing in real time. And when this pandemic hit, and I know having beauty schools and a lot of people relying on me to make the next decision, I would literally have my notebook, my laptop, the news on, and probably like a podcast in my ear, trying to navigate this new world and making the right decision for not just me and what I wanted. It wasn't really anything to do with that. It's the company, the future, and strategizing in real time. Tell me what that conversation looked like, if you can, with you and your husband, because I'm assuming you guys both dug right in.
Yeah, we did. We tend to be a little bit more, we kind of fly by the seat of our pants.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a ton of forethought that necessarily goes into all of our decisions.
You relabel that as patience. You'll relabel it as patience. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's the beauty of our working so closely together is him and I just immediately can look at each other and say, we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone through worse than this.
Mm-hmm.
We will figure a way out of this. You know, as long as we have each other and our kids, that's what matters. All the rest of it can be figured out. And so as long as that's where the focus is for us, we can get through anything. So,
I mean, it's a great company mindset as well. It may sound like fly by the seat of your pants, but honestly, it's a core value, really, to know that you have strength in your beliefs, you have strength as a family, you have strength as a couple, and you know that you're going to be able to respond in a good way for not just for you, but for the people out there who like your products, who want more. Do you feel like now with your mask business, are you going to be promoting all the different NFL teams or other teams on these masks?
So we've kind of taken a little bit of an approach where we're doing just fun patterns, something that will appeal to pretty much everyone. That's the one thing I think we learned with Lady 12, and that being an entrepreneur, you're always learning, but we kind of pigeonholed ourselves. And so this was a new opportunity to do something that would appeal to everybody. So we are taking that opportunity and kind of running with that.
Where have you seen the biggest over this COVID time frame of shutdown? People are still purchasing. I'm assuming they're still looking at your website and still wanting things, because we can't watch. We're watching old reruns and classic games. I have watched a classic baseball game, World Series game, probably every day. But we're still fans. We're still fans, and we want that. Are you seeing, and this was just my curious thought, are you seeing a lot of people signing up for yoga pants and pajama bottoms right now?
Yeah, this is a real thing, to be totally honest. I wish that we had more. And it's funny how merchandise works, because there's some stuff that we've literally fire saled in the past because it had just expired and we were wanting to get rid of it. And now I'm like, oh my God, I wish we had that back.
Right, right.
But the mask thing started with, it was like a 3 a.m. watching CNN, seeing the need for masks. And I just kind of started racking my brain. And all of a sudden I realized we had 1,500 scarves sitting in a storage container made of amazing quality fabric that we were literally going to have to fire sale those because we had just had them for a really long time. And it kind of broke my heart to do it because I knew the quality of the scarves, but it is what it is. Right.
Right.
And all of a sudden I was like, we can make masks out of the scarves. And it just spiraled from there. And
did you start at 3 a.m? Because that's what I would have done. I would have gone to that storage container and started doing some prototypes. That instant kind of problem solving is real freedom, don't you think?
No, it really is. And so the evolution of it ended up that Joe, he knew some people that he thought he could potentially get to help with the manufacturing of them. At that point in time, I was like, I'm either going to sit down on my sewing machine and figure out how to do this myself, or we find someone else that will make them for us and we can scale it a little bit easier that way. If we're not hand making each one.
How has providing these to your customer base how do you think it's validated that trust you've built as a brand?
I honestly have been overwhelmed by how many people have bought these masks from us. And I feel like in the beginning, when the mask thing was first needed, people had no idea what to do. This has been the most polarizing scenario that we've gone through as a country in a very long time. And when you're scared and you don't know what to do, and all of a sudden a brand that you trust or someone you trust says, I have this for you, I have a solution. It might be very small, but it can provide you a little bit of comfort. Mm-hmm. All over that. And they have been so thankful and so gracious. And it's been a very heartwarming experience, actually, because there was we were a little nervous in the beginning. Mm-hmm. How would people perceive us taking this opportunity and selling masks? Instead of, because there were a lot of people that were having, making masks and donating all of them. We couldn't financially do that. It wasn't feasible for us. We've donated a lot, but we couldn't donate all of them. And so we were a little nervous how it would be received. And the overwhelming responses, people have been grateful.
So now where do you take this? Now that you've built such a great brand, and it's a great name. I love Lady 12, and it really does say what you do. I love the apparel, and I love that you said it's because you wanted it to be cute. And even during this pandemic, we still want to feel cute. Everybody's been talking, especially in the beauty business, I hear it. What do I do with my hair, my nails? I've been wearing pajamas for 3 months. Where do you see that? And the retouch. Lisa and I cut our fringe live on one of her webcasts, so that's kind of fun. Yeah, I gave some at-home hacks. Don't hurt yourself, but these are the things that can kind of get you through. So now that we've had this experience, which has been incredible in lots of ways, lots of silver linings, where do we take it from there? Where's Lady 12 taking it from there? And we talked about the lack of inventory on some of these comfort clothes. Do you think that's where fashion's going to be headed, into a more relaxed style? A lot of people working from home for maybe forever?
I wish I had a crystal ball.
Yeah.
Because fashion is one of those things that you cannot just create overnight necessarily. It takes a lot of forethought and time in manufacturing and all of that stuff. But our play for this next, probably this next year moving forward, is we're going to do a lot of kind of quick turn stuff. So we've really prided ourselves on very custom products. I wanted all the sequins. I wanted all the glitter and all of that, in the beginning. And that takes, it really takes custom manufacturing to do most of that stuff.
Was that a big lesson that you learned along the way, as far as, because if you're doing it from concept through to delivery, I'm sure there's a lot of obstacles in the way. What were some of the biggest lessons and greatest solutions that you're proud of through that process?
Well,
it's fun. I'm going to share a quick story, because I think as female entrepreneurs, we can feel like a lot of times, and male entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship is filled with obstacles. And my father used to always say, the only thing that will get between you and success is the government. And as we know, we've been shut down. Certainly we're regulated in the beauty industry. We've been shut down.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not the big things that can present an obstacle. It's the small things. And I've been working on a ton of projects at home. And I have this ongoing joke with myself and my family that one screw has gotten in the way of me and success on completing a project. And literally it's one screw I can't get out of a wall. And it's happened on every single project I've worked on. And so again, it's a metaphor for, it doesn't have to be a big government thing. It can be that one screw or one sequin that is the stumbling block for your success. So tell me how you got through that one sequin moment.
One sequin. Well, yeah. I've had to learn to let go of perfection just a little bit. What my sense of the perfect product is not necessarily what it has to be to sell. And so
absolutely
letting go a little bit of that ideal and finding a suitable alternative, to get yourself to market. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. However, quality is important. So it's finding that fine line and that balance.
Well, that's just it. I mean, imperfection to you, or just shy of perfection to you, is perfection to someone else. So I think recognizing that is a very powerful quality, because oftentimes our need to feel satisfied is bigger than the project. And being able to step back and say, I'm not going to hold this up because I feel the need for it to be perfect.
Yes.
It's good. We're good. So now we're going to be moving into yoga pants, pajamas. How has your fashion looked during pandemic? Are you all in pajamas at home? You talk about you already homeschool your kids. Bless your heart.
This is territory I don't know if I want to get. I live in pajamas like 75% of the time, even before this whole thing started. If you've seen the outfits that me and my family have worn on this farm, I mean, oh my goodness.
It's exhausting to think about. You're up early, and every day, I'm sure the farm does not rest for Christmas, for COVID, for anything. Tell me about how that's been a great lesson for you and a metaphor for your business. And a helpful thing for your family.
Yeah, it's just that commitment to something. When you take on an animal, you're making a commitment to keep that alive. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, you still have to keep that animal alive. Same thing with children, same thing with a business. If you're going to put everything into starting a business, then you need to keep it alive. So then it's just about finding the balance and the time and the energy to do all of that. But if you're going to make the commitment to doing it, then
you got to do it. It's no halfways. There's no half measures.
No one's going to do it for you.
Lisa and I, we were on as some people know, we were on the same gymnastics team, and we had this incredible coach. And I can't wait to use the sports metaphor in everything we do, because I use it all the time. Sports, business, and family go hand in hand. And our coach used to say, there is no trying. You either do or you don't. Sure. And when it came to gymnastics, that was absolutely the case. You didn't say, well, I'm going to try to do this. No, you either do it or the trick fails or you get hurt. And it's like that in sports. It's like that in the farm. You can't just try to get the horses fed.
No.
And you decided. So that's a powerful lesson for your family. So your kids are getting into the mix. What fun things have you done farm and business wise with your kids during this pandemic?
It's been a game changer. Even for us as a farm family, we have made a huge hard left when the whole pandemic started. I wasn't planning on doing a vegetable garden this year. We have a whole vegetable garden going. I bought 2 baby goats because now we plan on creating our own.
Taking on more.
Yeah, drinking goat milk and having that all available for ourselves. We are hatching baby chicks. That was really fun. The first time we did it, we actually launched a Facebook and Instagram account and did
like live
sequence for everybody to watch the process of putting the eggs in the incubator and their development and the hatching process. Which was really cool for all the kids that were stuck at home and homeschooling for the first time. It was a really cool thing for them to just kind of check in.
Yeah, these are incredible lessons. These are real live science lessons. You may have seen a shadow go behind me. I've got my real life 16-year-old son learning a little bit about business and production and media. It's real life stuff that I think has been the silver lining with these kids at home. Your kids have benefited from for a while, but for those of us that don't homeschool and haven't had that, it's been a great way to share and show firsthand the effort that it takes to raise baby chicks or to put together a broadcast, a show, or to design a whole line of clothing for a whole group of fans. That's incredible. It's an incredible feat.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't believe that there's anyone better on this planet for our children to learn from than us. So having them home with us and watching even how we handle something as crazy as a pandemic, we are the ones that can teach them better than anybody else can.
Absolutely. So is everybody in your house excited about NFL season? If they're going to have it, do we know yet? I did turn off my updates. I usually get the ESPN.
Yes.
But I don't know what's going on with the NFL right now.
Extremely excited to see it happen. That's for sure. Yeah, we are.
I know they canceled the London games, I believe, and so I'm sure you have global fans out there for your apparel. But I would suspect that people are going to be, especially when the weather gets cooler, going to be wanting to cozy up in Lady 12 clothing to cheer on their team.
Yeah, we definitely are going to launch the whole line that we had planned. We will, even if we aren't doing it on a mass distribution level this season, it is still going to get launched. And
when would we expect that? When can we tell our viewers to be able to log in and think that they can get something to wear to support their passion?
Yeah, we probably will start with t-shirts and warmer weather stuff in July, and then we kind of progressively throughout the season will kind of work to the colder weather stuff. Probably try to launch like one item at a time to kind of keep things fresh. We normally do a fashion show every year, a huge fashion show.
Is that going to be still on?
We're going to call it this year.
Oh, no. Well, if you ever need a hand, we're here to help. We can certainly help you virtually with that fashion show. These are lots of fun. And I think people are craving that feeling. We want to get back to some sense of normalcy. So certainly we're here to help you and to help support Lady 12 Apparel. I want to thank you so much, Brandelyn, for sharing your story, and a job well done, not just during this COVID time and stepping up and pivoting to your mask, making and production, but on fulfilling a need that people really have, and being able to work so well with your husband. We talked earlier, it's a real symbiotic relationship when you can work as a family and certainly as a husband and wife. So that's terrific. And you should be very proud.
Thank you.
One last thing that we like to talk about here, since we've talked about sports, we've talked about business, we've talked about family, and we've definitely talked about women. Lisa has done this incredible thing where she has a put your money where your mouth is. So we're talking about what we're wearing, and is it either purchased in a female store, or is it a brand by a female? And I'm just going to let you know that my nail color is Blush Teddy from CND, and the co-founder is Jan Arnold. And they have been an incredible partner for beauty professionals with a really high standard. I also am wearing, and this I thought was kind of important, and I think Lisa will appreciate it. I bought this watch when I got my first proper job out of college, and I've had it ever since. And it's going on 30 years old. And I wear it all the time as a reminder of hard work, being on time, and staying disciplined. And I think it helps me a bit. Maybe not so much at the on time. Are you wearing any of your own right now, Lady 12?
You know what? I actually am wearing yoga pants, but you can't actually see them.
I know. I'm not going to stand up either. I have no air conditioning on in my house right now, so we don't want to see the rest of me right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So again, Brandelyn, thank you so much for joining us today. We really are delighted to have had you and had this conversation. We look forward to supporting Lady 12 and NFL. And I put my little 2 cents in for the New England Patriots. And that pretty much wraps it up for the 4th episode of Sports Week on Live with Lisa. And again, our hearts go out to Lisa and her family at this time. I will be hosting again tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. And we have tomorrow's guest is at 12:15. We're joining us live for our Entertainment Friday. She's Nashville singer and songwriter Savannah Keys, and she will be performing live. So please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channel Live with Lisa, and follow us on social media at Live with Lisa Show on Facebook and Instagram. And you will see all the hashtags and links and all that fun stuff in our notes. So again, Brandelyn, you're the best. I look forward to talking to you soon, and thank you for tuning in.